Even the most intense and dramatic movies can't keep actors from goofing around, which means plenty of blooper reels and blown takes for fans to enjoy during the credits or as a bonus on home video. But sometimes a spur-of-the-moment decision, mistake, or even an injury can be too good to cut. Make sure you comment below as you watch, because we want to know what you guys think of our videos. Here are Screen Rant's 10 movie bloopers that made it to the final cut. Django Unchained. Quentin Tarantino's Western was one of only a few movies to put Leonardo DiCaprio in a supporting role. But the actor found a surprising way to prove he's always a superstar. During the movie's climactic dinner scene, Calvin Candy's anger explodes, resulting in broken bone, smashed glass, and blood. The injury was completely unplanned. Other actors were clearly stunned as the director and actor kept on rolling. You can even watch as DiCaprio picks the glass from his hand once his speech is over. Hopefully, the blood smeared on his co-star wasn't the real thing. Mission Impossible 2. When filming the final fight in Mission Impossible 2, Tom Cruise and his stuntman trained to make their moves as realistic as possible, and that included letting a knife swing just millimeters from his eye. But when his fellow stuntman told Cruise not to pull back on his final kick, he did it, planting his foot squarely on his partner's jaw. Director John Woo used the entire shot, including the star's clearly shocked reaction to his mistake. Zoolander. Ben Stiller's world-famous male model is known more for his looks than his smarts. But one joke concerning Derek's low IQ rose above the rest. When David Duchovny's character explains why male models make the perfect brainwashed assassins, Derek doesn't quite keep up. That moment wasn't planned. Stiller simply forgot his next line, and instead of ruining the take, repeated the question.
But why male models?
You serious? I just told you that a moment ago.
Right.
Duchovny didn't miss a beat, giving as deadpan a response as he could, delivering one of the more memorable jokes in the movie. Knocked Up. Stars Seth Rogen, Jason Segel, Jonah Hill, and Jay Baruchel open the movie with a montage of wasting time, capping the scene off with a ride on a spinning roller coaster. A ride not all of them enjoyed.
I gotta get off.
Baruchel's fear of roller coasters was so strong, he agreed to appear naked in the movie just to avoid the ride. But the director and cast pushed him to do it, meaning Segel had to appear in the flesh instead, and Baruchel's genuine terror made it into the final movie. Raiders of the Lost Ark. When Indiana Jones attempts to ambush a group of Nazis with his leading lady held prisoner, the movie's villain Belloc takes part in a surprise cameo. A fly suddenly appearing on an actor's face can usually ruin a take, but the bug disappearing implies something much worse. According to actor Paul Freeman, the effects team thought it would be funnier to erase the fly's escape, turning what could have been a blown take into an infamous moment that's impossible to miss. Midnight Cowboy. This one is quite possibly the most famous blooper in movie history. Ratso Rizzo's catchphrase in Midnight Cowboy was completely unplanned, as the crew secretly filmed actors Dustin Hoffman and Jon Voight on a New York street. A taxi nearly hit the pair of them crossing the street, but as Jon Voight watched on in surprise, Hoffman turned the blown take into not just the most well-known scene in the movie, but a line that would become even more well-known and iconic than he could have ever guessed.
I'm walking here!
The Lord of the Rings. When Gandalf first arrives to visit Bilbo in Bag End, he shows how hard it can be to move through a miniature home. Actor Ian McKellen's fumbling with the chandelier was planned, but his sudden slam into a ceiling beam wasn't. His surprised shout and laugh were too good to leave out, and Peter Jackson left the mistake in the finished film. Blade Runner. Ridley Scott's sci-fi detective story made actress Daryl Hannah an up-and-coming star overnight, but her dedication to the role went beyond acting. When her character is introduced, she panics, running off and smashing the window of the parked van. The stunt wasn't planned, meaning Hannah simply slammed into the van with enough force to shatter the very real glass, and her elbow along with it. She remained in character, making sure the mistake wound up in the original film, and she wound up in surgery herself. Rain Man. Stars Tom Cruise and Dustin Hoffman were at the top of their game in this tale of dysfunctional brothers, but some unintended flatulence was to thank for one of its most famous moments. When the pair are squeezed into a phone booth, Hoffman's character takes things from bad to worse, passing some gas in the cramped space.
Uh-oh, fart.
Yeah, Charlie Babbitt, I'll hold.
Fart.
But Hoffman wasn't making it up, simply giving his co-star a heads up. Cruise took the cue to stay in character, and the rest is history.
How can you stand that?
I don't mind it.
Back to the Future Part 2. Hoverboards may have become the runaway stars of the Back to the Future series, but the futuristic gadgets also led to one of the trilogy's most disastrous stunts. When Biff's gang tries to take out Marty in 2015, they wind up smashing through a courthouse window. The risky stunt called for all three actors to fly through the glass before dropping safely below, but an error sent stuntwoman Cheryl Wheeler-Dixon slamming into a pillar instead. With the timing thrown off, she was dropped 30 feet onto the stone below. She survived the fall but sustained serious injuries. Even more shocking, the stunt was only performed once, meaning her fall can actually be seen in the finished film, thankfully cutting away a split second before impact. So what do you think of our list? Did we miss any of your favorite bloopers or happy accidents that ended up in movies? Let us know in our comments section, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one.